Dream a little dream of me. Welcome kindreds, it's Jessica TheStoryWitch, and this video is going to be a flip through and first impressions of Maia latest book, the Illustrated Crystallary. I did receive this copy as a promotional copy, but obviously any opinions that I give are my own, although I am, disclosure, expecting to love it because I have her Herbiary and her Bestiary already, and I really love those books and decks. So let's have a look. It's Guidance and Rituals. It's Maia is the author, and the illustrations are by Kate O'Hara, who is the same artist who has done the fantastic illustrations. The way they just knit together Maia's words with Kate's illustrations is just absolutely fantastic. Purple in the inside of these. Each of them has a different colour on the inside, so that's handy. From the backs of the cards have got the same thing, so you can kind of distinguish the different cards from each other. That's a very gorgeous purple. The Illustrated Crystallary, Guidance and Rituals from 36 Magical Gems and Minerals. I've seen a couple of pages from this in the in some of the promotional stuff, but I don't know all of the crystals that are included, so I'm excited to see what is in here. To the stones who seem quiet but in silence truly sing, and to my parents for applying the heat and pressure that taught me how to shine. That's cute. Okay, so contents, and we have got, so we're going to have quartz, azurite, labradorite, amber, moonstone. One of the things I noticed about this when I did see the pages like I said that I've seen earlier is that the crystals here are the kind of crystals that are more readily available. Sometimes when you get crystal decks, some of the crystals are quite obscure and you just don't, they're not easy to find. So this does not look like it's going to be the case with this one. A quote from Virginia Woolf, a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and then the preface, which I won't read out to you all together, but usually it's a little bit of Maia's kind of connection and why she wanted to kind of come into this. I'll read you the last paragraph actually. Stones are easy to come by. Take a walk outside and scour the ground. Fish a stone out of a creek bed, or visit a local rock shop and buy a crystal that seems to be shining just a little bit brighter than the stones around it. This is the beginning, and it's also the ending if you place your stone on a shelf and forget about it. But if you instead treat this moment as the start of a new relationship, if you get quiet and listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being, a different kind of knowing begins to unfold. Wishing you deep connection. And that is another thing that I love about her writing, is that it's very relational, both in the Herbiary and the Bestiary, which I've done walkthroughs of on this channel as well. I'll try and remember to link those. It's relationship with these. It's not like using. A lot of the time you hear people like, oh, use a stone, use a crystal for this. But it's not that. It is relational. It's like work together as co-conspirators. The stone people have been here a lot longer than us. And they are elders, they are elders. So, introduction. Like many people who decide to road trip cross country, I was travelling with baggage of the emotional sort. I'd quite intentionally left someone behind and married someone who flirted and promised but remained steadfastly married to someone else. During weeks alone on the road, I'd peeled back layer upon layer of hurts and betrayals. On this particular desert afternoon, I suddenly knew I'd walked myself through the worst of it. It was time to move on and be done. And she talks about how she's picked up a piece of snowflake obsidian. Okay, so stone nourishment. Today we can walk into a pharmacy and buy bottles of vitamins and minerals that have been purified in a lab and conveniently encapsulated. This has not always been the case. While traditional healers knew that the human body needed specific mineral nutrients, these supplements were not pre-encapsulated. They were unrefined and found in the dirt of the earth. We consume these nutrients indirectly through eating plants and animals. Minerals in the dirt nourished the plants, and plants fed the animals, including humans. So yeah, a little bit about how crystals and stones develop. I'm not sure if she's going to mention it in here. We might see that as we go through now, but obviously there is with any kind of mining, because stones come out of the earth. There can be problematic practices associated with it, although recently, because people have been asking more questions about this, there are more people who are able to give you information about where the stones are coming from, and you can responsibly source stones, you know, that haven't got baggage of their own from the way that they're being taken out of the earth, ripped out of the earth. Okay, and it's got a bit about the stone families, which is helpful, because that's sometimes, if you're into crystals, you might have seen Judith Hall's Crystal Bible, which was like a real small book first of all, and now I think it's like 12 different volumes, because there's just so much, so much, and sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming with crystals. But like I said, I think she's keeping this really core, which is great here. Crystal, mineral or gems, a little bit more kind of fact stuff here, and then on to the crystallary itself. And I'm sure it's going to follow the same format as in these, where you get the large format of Kate O'Hara's gorgeous picture. Look at this one for garden quartz. There's like mini gardens in all of these points, and the whole thing is making a gorgeous flower cluster. And then, oh, she has got the Mohs hardness scale. You do get that in the geology and in some crystal books too, which is basically like this guy came up with a scale for the different crystals and how hard they are. And like from a magical point of view, how hard they are does make a difference to that's their property. And so part of the properties tells you about their personality, about their potential softness or hardness. And then she writes so beautifully, more of a kind of introduction, a connection, as if speaking from the heart of the crystal. I won't read every single one of these out, but maybe as we're going through, I will pick different ones. And then, yeah, it's exactly the same as in the Herbiary. It's got a ritual and then a reflection for you to... So when you draw one of these crystals, or if you flick through the book, you can use it for bibliomancy as well, and just flick through the book. You can dig deeper if you want to. Like perhaps if you're going to use it just as an oracle, then you can just read this part as a... Sorry, this keeps flapping, it's getting on my nose. You can just read this part, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can do this, and then even deeper again. She's got some questions and things here, so you can almost use it as like the start of another reading from there. Wow, look at that, that's gorgeous. Activate the void, azurite, which is softer than the quartz. Each in-breath creates space within you, an expectant stillness. Azurite holds the energy of this empty fullness. It is not the container, but the space contained, not the walls of the womb, but the emptiness within. This void is the most precious of gifts, because in this emptiness, in the pause at the crossroads of time and space, your intuition can soar. It's just so... It's gorgeous. When I first had the Herbiary, I didn't buy it first of all because I felt like it was going to be like a little bit superficial, but they are anything but superficial. You know, yes, they're super accessible, and yes, they are super helpful and basic in a way, but also not, you know, basic in that way of like fundamental. So it looks like this is going to be the same. Labradorite, recharge your destiny. That's gorgeous. Look with the lights, because Labradorite has... I haven't got any here actually. I should have probably pulled out some of the ones that were going to be in the book. That would have made sense. But with Labradorite, when you turn it and it catches the light, it's got this kind of sparkle in it, which is really amazing. Sometimes it's impossible to connect with a sense of soul's purpose. Life can feel like a dreary trudge, from work to the grocery store to your desk piled with bills. In those moments when you feel far from magical or mystical, call on Labradorite. Yeah, really gorgeous. Find your fuel. One Nordic myth teaches that the aurora borealis connects us to the heavens. It's a pathway to the afterlife. Oh, look how beautifully that ties in with that imagery. You know, our ancestors are in the sky which is also like the sea beneath as the earth turns around. Gorgeous, gorgeous. The combination of the writing with the pictures is just like amber. Wow. And it's the earth, you know, wrapped with these gorgeous amber, preserved. Amber asks, what are you becoming? It doesn't matter who you were before. Wow. And yeah, she's got some of the more the properties, things like antimicrobial, it just mentioned there then. You know, it's got the kind of factual information as well, but it's got the heart of these crystals as well. I'll have a proper read through. I love moonstone. I got here. I wear this ring every day, moonstone ring, and that's just beautiful. With all the seasons all around. Mama Moon rules the waters, pulling the tide and singing to the ebb and flow within our own watery bodies. Moonstone will guide you back. She's a stone for the journey, from dark to light, from inner to outer, from winter to summer, steadfast in a gentle assertion that everything comes round again. Flowing with life's tide, she assures you, will lead to renewal. And yeah, that is why Moonstone is very important to me. Oh wow, the phases of you. Beautiful. And you know, these are kind of like practical things that you can do. Noting your emotions, getting a calendar or date book that tracks the phases. I can definitely recommend some of those. I have done in other videos. Track your moods with the moon's phase. Yes. And finding patterns. Yeah, beautiful. This is all really, really gorgeous. And we have lapis lazuli or lazuli, and you know, so regal, sovereignty, step up to sovereignty. And yeah, you know, it is the kind of Egyptian sovereign stone. I worked with lapis a lot in my year, when the word of my year was sovereign, and that was really powerful. Choose your regalia, find your voice. Gorgeous. Howlite. Now this is one I don't see that often, but I love it, and it is a really interesting stone and soft. You know, on the hardness scale, it is soft. It suits howlite just right. Shh, she whispers to your monkey mind. Come back to center, sit in stillness. Yeah, it's a very kind of underrated stone, I think, and so yeah, off your center, bringing you back to center. Gorgeous. I know, I keep saying. Choose your initiation, emerald. I don't actually have any emeralds because it's just expensive, and you know, you can buy really teeny tiny little pieces, but I would like to buy a really beautiful cut emerald one day. And yeah, emerald is a smoky cat. And look at the different animal imagery that is woven in here. We've got the eyes, the different eyes. Choosing your path, choosing your initiation. Where will you go? New eyes, eagle, tiger, chameleon, mantis shrimp, who has 3 eyes on individually rotating stalks and can see 12 bands of colour where humans only see 3. Wow. And the green of life. Yeah. Associated with Venus. Incans and Egyptians using emerald, Hildegard von Bingen. So it's got lots of history and things woven in here in very easy, digestible. Wow, look at this. Talking about digestible, we've got like a colon here. And then the body with all the systems on there. Suglite or suglite, some people call it. If the universe had a superhero and that superhero had a cosmic decoder ring, it would be made from a polished sphere of aubergine banded sugarlight, or maybe just from the tiniest sliver of this potent and vibrant material. Tapping into your nervous system. I'm really excited to get to the cards at the back of this deck. This is looking really, really good. Energy of illness. And it says that she'd like to become known as an anti-cancer stone. Wow. I did not know that. It's so funny with stones. You know, I have certain stones that I am close with, that are my allies, that I have bonded with. And there's certain stones that I don't work with very much. And I'm excited to perhaps branch out a little bit with this. Most of these I already have, but some I don't. So yeah, it's interesting. Chrysocolla, about unpacking the past and trauma from the past. Soften and shift. Now amethyst is a stone. Look at that. It's like, oh, that is just incredible. So we've got the air balloons here. You know, it's a very Aquarian stone. It's an Aquarian birthstone with that air and just kind of taking off, and then we've got the slice of the stone, but it's, you know, it's a head, but then also like the whole earth with the moon and with the sun. Wow. That's amazing. That is really amazing. Magic exists in life's interstitial spaces, those liminal in-between spaces. There's a nice big chunk of amethyst there. Yeah, where your head meets your heart. Seeing love. And the land of dreams. What dreams are languishing? I love that she has these, like I said, these can be really good springboards for whole readings around this. Quite often when I'm using these decks, I'll use those prompts. I'll pull the card from there, and then I'll use like a tarot or something to pull answers to these questions. And it can take you kind of deeper. You can spiral further and further in. Larimar, first the fire. We've got the two masks here on a volcano. But then, yeah, so fire and water. Fire creates earth, solid ground from where new things can grow. So Larimar will help you find your core fire. You know, as I'm reading these, I'm like, oh, I could do with that. I could do with that. I could do. Yeah. It's everything. If you have a passion, there is no need for excuses, because your enthusiasm will trump any negative reasoning you might come up with. It's from Wayne Dyer quote there. Now, carnelian. This is one of my core stones that I'm close with. Get curious. And look at this with the scroll and the globe. And it is a very kind of knowledgey stone, but also the creativity stone, you know. Carnelians travelled trade routes, been privy to love letters, and learned ancient secrets scribed on scrolls and stored in cathedrals of learning like the Great Library of Alexandria and the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. Get out and see the world, Carnelian encourages, lending you strength and fortitude for the travels ahead. It's a very kind of Sagittarian stone, used since ancient times. And then some questions for you to ask. Oh, look, the setting sun. So carnelian as a kind of almost like a psychopomp, letting you cross and kind of consider that barrier between life and death. Topaz, living in abundance. Look at these cut gems all around here, and then all this gorgeous juicy abundance, the figs, the apples. It's so kind of sexy. When we are satiated, when we feel that we have enough, full spirit, full heart, we can relax and offer abundance to those around us. Savor sensation, yeah, sensual perhaps then more than sexual, you know, it's just oof, really, are you able to absorb the abundance in your life? If not, look deeper. What's blocking you? Oh, looking at, see, like the facts, like I did not know this. The word imperial was added to topaz during the 19th century when Russian Tsars declared the royal family the only people fit to own it. Imperial only refers to topaz in the golden to pinkish colour range. Because yeah, topaz does come in quite a few different colours. And then another topaz, blue topaz. She did this in, here, not in the herbiary, they're all separate herbs, but in the bestiary as well, there are animals from the same kind of genus but different different animals. Like I think there's 3 different owls in there. Be soft and listen, sister to imperial topaz. And I actually work with the blue topaz more, so there is a richness within. Blue topaz reminds you you don't need a teacher or a textbook, you simply need to be soft and to listen. I'm still learning that all the time. Yeah, and also topaz is one of those stones that they heat treat a lot, so you can to make it have lots of different kind of finishes. Oh, my watch is beeping at me, which some people hate, but I actually don't mind it. You know, as long as you know what has happened to it, then yeah, it serves a slightly different purpose. You only more so, ruby. Look at that. Just luscious. Ruby is like love. She can fill you up or drain you dry. And like love, ruby serves as an amplifier, magnifying both your positive and negative traits. She can lead you to courage and self-confidence, as if those seeds are already nurtured within you. If self-doubt and loathing have taken root, she'll boost those traits in equal measure. So interesting, isn't it? Like the ruby slippers in Wizard of Oz. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Add amplitude to intention. So it's definitely like a stone to be careful of then, because you would not want to be using it to amplify things you did not want amplified. Almandine garnet. I love garnet. Really super protective. Your beginnings are carried in your blood in the memory created by each DNA mutation and epigenetic tag. Blood is memory, not just your own, but of those who came before. Look at this whole moon cycle and this tree of garnets with the roots and the shield. So yeah, it's so ancestral. The illustrations are, and yeah, look, the DNA woven all around, the double helix. The flow of your history, leaning into your lineage. Yeah, it's so apt because garnet is a stone I work with for protection for ancestor work. Yeah. Salt, the fundamental of humanness, well, and yeah, of life even. Before there were diamonds, emeralds and rubies, there was salt. This ancient crystal was used as currency, building cities, trade routes and new technologies. While you might desire moonstones or opals, only salt is so necessary that you are hardwired to crave it. Do you know the difference between what you desire and what your body and being truly crave? Yeah. Lepidolite. Often with the crystal names, you don't ever say them out loud, you know, you just read them. And so it's funny. So self-soothing. Peridot, which is another useful. So much life in you. And look, you can just see the life everywhere in that. It's the grail there. Wow. The medicine around you. Yeah. Celestial quartz. Deep in the heart of the earth, celestial forms layer by an uneven layer. Perhaps in the distant past of her beginning, she was a regular quartz, but after centuries of responding to ever-present change in temperature, moisture, and even the shifting of tectonic plates, she has flowed and morphed into unexpected shapes and textures. And yeah, I have not heard of celestial quartz. So I heard of it like a couple of months ago when I saw that page, when somebody shared that page. in my circle, and I was like, oh, celestial quartz, I did not know that was a thing. The word celestial describes how some quartz forms. Any member of the quartz family, including amethyst and citrine, can become celestial. So that's interesting. So it's not a name of a particular like colour or type of quartz. And with the crystals, they are, because it gets confusing with the different names for different things. Like some people are like, well, no, that's amethyst, but amethyst is actually quartz, you know. So I think this book is also useful from that point of view, that it's got that basic information in there, which is really, really helpful. Look at that balance, and yeah, so much symbolism in there. That is bonkers. Selenite, because of Selene, moon goddess. The moon is a dark thing, but I am light, not light reflected, refracted, or redistributed. No, I am brightness shining from within, a wellspring, not a mirror. Being both, polarity. Yeah. Try and go a little bit quicker, or I'm never going to get to the back. Citrine, which is another stone I work for a lot. No patience for navel gazing and narcissism. There's a whole world out there. Abundance, and let it in. Sodalite, come to calm. I thought I had some sodalite here. Oh yeah. But it's not been polished, not been tumbled. Morganite, breathe into your heart. Wow. I love the kind of symmetry in her images, and when she doesn't use symmetry, it's always for a really good reason. So the like in that balance picture for selenite, it's symmetry but not, you know. It's so clever, so clever, the illustration, so thoughtful. So morganite, stretch into your fullness. There's another crystal I have not worked with much. Hematite, anchor in. Yeah, hematite, fantastic, so helpful. And look at that, anchored, rooted. Structure. Ammolite. Okay, so better with time. So I use ammonites, but I haven't used, I don't think, ammolite. So I'll need to read that to find out what that means. Like the nautilus shape of the ammonite shell. Oh, so maybe it is the same thing as an ammonite and an ammolite. Turquoise. Finding your way home. A turquoise here. You can always find your way home, and look at that with the nest and all the nests in the clouds, and it's part of the compass, the clock of the compass. So clever. Nest or novelty, and call yourself home. I call myself home to myself. Rose quartz, a different kind of love, and look at that animal imagery in there as well, that lion. Yeah, strength and love. And rose quartz, you know, is one of those, again, it's like almost like a cliche. Rose quartz for self-love, for love, but for good reason, Oh, look, and I love rose quartz blush is caused by a combination of manganese, which feeds the heart, titanium, which leads unbreakable strength, and iron, which grounds and centers. You know, the chemical, geological makeup of these stones is their personality, their property. And then black tourmaline. Transmutation. I've got the magnets on there. It's clever. And then opal, which is gorgeous. Were the ancient oracles always accurate? Nope. Time is fluid. Opal knows, making the prophecy business rather risky. Opal knows how to hold and work with water. She feels the ways in which the waters of time can be channeled or dammed, creating different outcomes and new visions. The fluidity of becoming, and the sort of stone for looking at the future. Yeah. Smoky quartz, fall apart. Oh, wow. I am the ground beneath your feet, smoky quartz whispers. I am the hollow in the earth and a cradle to rest in. I still the noise and ease the pain. I am the grandmother who sings you to sleep and sweetens your dreams. Feeling safe and going to pieces. Lots of quotes included in here as well, like in the other books too. Is this mine? Green fluorite. When emotions wash over you, green fluorite wants you to ask, is this mine? Oh, interesting. So fluorite again is another one that comes in lots of different colours. So interesting that she's picked the green specifically there. Sharp shadows, obsidian. Obsidian is not a gentle friend. Precise, yes. Masterful always. Quicker than a cheetah taking down a gazelle? Absolutely. But gentle? That's not obsidian's domain. An uncompromising mirror and a surgically sharp blade. Obsidian helps you see your shadows and excise them. And yeah, you know, that's why obsidian is often used for scrying mirrors and things like that, because there's no bullshit. Yeah, which it's good, you know, sometimes. Heal your heartbeat, rhodonite. That's another stone that I feel is like underused and we're under connected with. Perhaps just for me. Yeah, it's one that seems to like creep up on you. The only thing, clear quartz. Wow. An egg waiting to be hatched, a song waiting to be sung. Clear quartz is a basket, a womb, the potential to become. And they're using clear quartz as wands. I got like a kind of point here. I've got a clear quartz wand somewhere actually as well. Neutralizing overload and reset. I think we're nearly at the end now. In fact, that might be, yeah. So this tells you how to work with the cards, which we will be coming to in a moment. It just has some very basic readings, 1, 2 and 3 card reading. Sources, again, she talks a little bit about the sources and her kind of thank yous. And then these are the other 2 books. The Herbiary has come out as a collectible box set, which I did a walkthrough of as well, which has got bigger cards, which are gorgeous. I'm hoping that they will bring all of them out like that, and I guess I'd like to get bigger cards of all of them, because there's Maia and a little bit about her, because these are the cards. So let's turn this around and take them out to show you. And they are not amazing, unfortunately, if they're the same, which I suspect they are, as the ones that came with the other 2 decks. So they come like this, and they are, to be fair, very easy to separate, and don't leave too much. They do have these little kind of knobbles where they've been connected, but to be honest, I find these kind of wear down over time anyway when you're using them, so they're not too much. They're very, very thin and kind of flimsy, you know, which was why when they brought out the kind of bigger version of the Herbiary, it was so nice to have those cards in a more, although to be honest, I still use my little deck because it is kind of like just a nice size. It's just a shame they aren't kind of slightly better quality cards. But that's always my only criticism about these books and decks. It's not really meant as a deck as such, it's more meant as a book with cards, if you see what I mean. Whereas those kind of, the box set edition of the Herbiary is definitely more focused on you get exactly the same book, but you have much better cards and like a pouch for the cards and things like that in that. I think likely, as long as they sell enough of them, of the herbiary ones, that they will bring out the box set versions of all of them eventually, but I didn't want to wait. So I was very, very happy to be sent this card. Aren't they just gorgeous? And they all have the purple borders, very small borders. It gives you the page number, which is brilliant because they didn't do that on the original Herbiary edition. Then you'd have to kind of flick through and find your page, but they've got the page number and the kind of keywords on the top, and then it's just a shrunken down version of the picture that was in the book. Like I said, the backs are these gorgeous purple, which if you're doing a reading with a few of the cards, although I don't tend to use them together with the same deck, to be honest, but sometimes I have got them mixed up, and then it's really easy to just flip through the backs and take them out if you have managed to put one in the wrong. My daughter likes to use these sometimes, so she sometimes puts them back. Well, not these, because these are brand new, but the other two decks. So yeah, they are really, really lovely. But well, let's try. So very thin and, you know, really easy to shuffle. Good size for that. You probably could riffle shuffle them if you could riffle shuffle, which I am literally rubbish at. So yeah, you can, because, you know, because they bend really well. And then yeah, step up to sovereignty. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Warmest blessings, and I will see you very soon.